3 years now. So Pranjo, welcome back. So good to see you back on ET now. 3 years is a long time, my friend. Why were you in a Vanvas?
Yeah, good morning, Nikunj. Nice to see you guys again. Um, yeah, it was as you everybody knows, and we had tough years, 2 years of painful time, in value investing. Um, but okay, this mistakes happen. Mistakes happen to even the best of investment gurus. So it's most important thing is you learn from the mistakes and go ahead with being more empowered. That's what exactly we have been doing. And Nikunj, as you know, I have seen the markets since the outcry days, and now the the Zerodha phase. So it's not that I'm seeing that kind of a cycle for the first time, but it's very important to learn from the mistakes, as I told. So we also have tweaked our strategy, our approach to the value investing, but without any compromise on the basic principles of value investing. That continues. And I think there's a long way to go for equity investors in India. And it's exciting times, there is no doubt. That doesn't mean one be always be bullish and go on buying stocks. Investors have to be willing to accept the corrections and sometimes deep corrections. And we have seen the deepest of corrections in 2018 and 19, especially with regard to the broader market. I think in my 30 years of career, that was the most painful 2 years for me.
Well, all of us go through a process of learning, but I'm so glad that at least you've come on the right side of the learning curve. So we haven't spoken to you in a while, Pranjo. So tell us a bit more about what has been that big learning and how exactly have you changed your portfolio orientation? Because in an earlier avatar, which is let's say the pre-COVID avatar, you were actively investing in some of the B group stocks, more like mid caps and small caps. Have you changed your portfolio strategy completely?
No, we haven't changed the strategy completely. Only that's why I told you I've tweaked certain aspects of it. If you remember, I was betting on certain aspects of the economy, and we have a pro-business government, and so many financial reforms, very important long-term reforms have been going on, like GST, RERA, and IBC. So a formalization of the economy and better compliance. These were the themes I was betting on. It is really started playing out now, and it will be the biggest theme going forward. But I made a mistake of perhaps, when we look back, I played the theme a bit early. So that was definitely, a big loss for my clients. But we have been recovering extremely well. We had 153% return in this last financial year, 2021. That doesn't mean all the pain is over, but people who joined, at the peak of that small cap strategy or the peak of the small cap cycle, I would say. There are a few accounts I was just watching, they are still in negative, slightly negative. It was very painful, Nikunj, when a middle class family, they put their hard-earned 50 lakhs, trusting me. And that 50 lakhs, in a short period going down to below 25 lakhs, below half. That was, if it's a rich guy, put some money, it's okay. But whatever we say, only a portion of your wealth you invest in equity, all those principles we say, but practically we end up, some of those accounts, which is the significant wealth of a family coming to portfolio management. We used to always try to discourage that kind of a thing. But now it's, the 25 lakhs have come back to 40, 50, and 60. And people who have invested a year ago, it has gone up by 200%. But this is because of that panic low in the market. It's not a big thing to take credit. A lot of fund managers, investors have done better, perhaps. But when you talk about that, aspect of learning, one is, we all know the culture and DNA of companies are very difficult to change. That's where I have gone wrong to some extent in the hindsight. Some of those, promoters, they did not change. They don't want to change. Instead of changing and creating a better company, they took out all the money, and our legal system is not designed to give protection from such kind of criminal activities. I hope things are improving, and it will improve further. But one thing is clear: going forward, the theme, it is true. A lot of proven today the market. The biggest theme is, by the proven winners, the blue chips, the bluest of the blue chips, and that is the theme played today. Nothing wrong in that. A lot of them have been great compounders. May continue to be so after a pause, perhaps. A good correction can happen. But I find the real opportunity is in the broader market still. And this formalization of the economy theme, all of us know that is a real theme to be played. Betting on the better, the improved corporate.
Fair point. One of your biggest holdings or one of your biggest concentrated bet is centered around Tata Group of companies, whether it is Tata Consumer or Tata Communication. What makes you bullish on Tata Communication? The stock has gone from levels of 400 to about 1200, which means it is 4x from last 1 year, and you still continue to like it. Why is that you don't like Tata Elxsi or TCS? Because Tata Communication is more like an unusual choice.
In fact, 2 years ago, Tata Elxsi has been our first stock after the Tata Consumer we picked in the fund, and we recently exited in the last couple of months. So actually, Tata Communication we started buying something like over a period ago, over 1 year ago, and we have been buying at 350, 400. In fact, the stock went down to near 200 during that panic in the market. Now it's come up to 4-digit price and quoting at around 35,000 across market cap. I feel when we talk about the theme digital transformation, Tata Elxsi, and there were many companies, but the valuations have really gone through the roof. A good company doesn't mean you can buy it at any price, but they can still be good, reasonable compounders. But Tata Communication, after their recent calls and the disclosure by the management, I find this is something still underpriced. But this is, again, I don't want investors to go and buy it in a hurry. It can go back to 1,000 or below into 3-digit price. Market is not that kind of a comfort zone. So Tata Communication, I would strongly look at when we play the theme digital transformation. I know it's a huge global opportunity in digital solutions. It has been traditionally a company, providing data and voice infrastructure. It's really getting transformed into a real global solutions company. And the opportunity size is really big. And now with the new leadership of Chandra and the new CEOs and, CFO, I've got much more confidence on them. And again, you see, Nikunj, it's a 2,500 crores free cash flow company today. And we are talking about a big growth ahead. Company has guided for, something like 15 to 20% growth for next many years, maybe 5 years or 10 years. When we go through an 8% or 10% maximum kind of a GDP growth. So if you get something like that, an idea with which can grow at 15% plus for next 5 or 10 years, I think it's an amazing idea. But there is no hurry again. I don't feel, we have a hangover of the OFS in the company. And I think there are many ingredients long-term investors have to seriously look at Tata Communication in a transformation period.
Sure. Purinju, what else are you looking at currently in terms of value plays or themes in the broader markets? Where else are you applying the strategy that you just described?
Oh, good morning, Abha. I don't want to go back to my old style of, talking too many stocks and small and mid caps. I think things have changed. Even I have learned many lessons, not to making the stocks in public, especially when we pick small and mid caps. But I remember clearly, after Chandra took over, the Tata Group companies, they were being managed earlier like PSU companies. So there is a huge change happening, and it is really evident in numbers, in their attitude, in the vision for the future. So those companies are still can be great. This Tata Consumer, I think 2 years ago for the ET now 10th anniversary, I had talked about Tata Consumer, which is up 200% today. And even Tata Chemicals have done very well. Even they are going in a very different dimension altogether going forward. So these Tata companies, that structural change happening in those companies, in their vision, and they have the capability, the brand when it comes to consumer thing, the e-commerce. I think it's a group which is going to create significantly higher wealth going forward. There is no doubt. But stock picking again is not going to be that easy. What is available at a value today and comfortable valuation, that's every investor has to take a call. Otherwise, I'm not very comfortable talking the small cap stocks in our portfolio. It's true we have created some of the best ideas in the last 1 year. We have picked stocks and confident, very confident going forward. Though markets may give corrections and sometimes deep corrections, there is still very good opportunity in Indian markets for stock picking, for the real value investing. We have to, the nuances we have to fine tune and find ways to perform. And there is no doubt, I am very bullish on the market. But when markets are very hot, a lot of new investors entering the market and buying stocks at any price, especially in the small and mid caps, it's time definitely to be careful and cautious. And markets have been discounting the FY22 numbers for discounting stocks. And again, you see the first quarter of the year, the June ending quarter, it will not be good. We all know some of the companies may report very bad numbers. So sentiment can change in this during this period. And then people may think of, they may talk of FY23 earnings maybe started being discounted. But I don't know. This all, depends on various other factors. One thing is very evident. This rally, what we have been seeing from the recent low, I think it has got a long way to go. But it's going to be, again, a stock picker's market. When there is a general trend, every stock goes up. So it's a time to be extremely careful and cautious. And we are at that kind of a point of time now. We should be expecting, especially the leverage traders, and the leverage investors nowadays, they are, I don't know if we call them traders or investors, should be very careful because, whatever money made in the last 1 year or 1.5 years can be lost also very fast. It's time to be cautious and strictly adhere to the principles of value investing if you're an investor. And it's going to be good times in the market.
Okay, so do see good times going ahead, and I see quite a smattering of names, in terms of what has been reported and what you have picked up, Purinju. So I'm just curious, if you could, give me some sense of the portfolio thematically, since you're not, discussing individual names. Are you, sector-wise, or, when you're looking at the recovery or betting on growth, are you okay to go for some of the really beaten down names with an eye to the recovery? Are you sticking more with the performers, or the preferred names, whether it be in banking, IT? Just give our viewers a little bit more of a sense of, what is constituting that overall mix right now.
But I feel one segment, if you can call it a segment, the public sector companies in India. This is smart people used to avoid it over the last maybe 5, 10, 20 years for various reasons, not well managed. I think that theme, it has played out a bit. Many of those stocks have gone, 2x and 3x, and some of them are still to perform. But I expect a further re-rating in the public sector companies, especially the upcoming sale of, BPCL. I'm very confident next 2-3 years, 2-3 months, as going by the guidance by the government notification, it's going to happen. And the Air India is going to be disinvested. So 2-3 large disinvestment successfully happens. That's where the re-rating comes, So look at the valuation gap between the PSU companies and non-PSUs. When on the one side we have the Adanis and kind of stocks. What about NTPC? This time I'm not holding or buying the stock. Look at BEML is going to be disinvested, and that process is really on. A lot of people still do not believe that government can successfully disinvest many of these companies and meet the target. But going by sensing what's going, I strongly feel, I'm very confident this time the disinvestment process or the privatization process, to be precise, is going to be very successful, and that will lead to re-rating of many PSU companies. And there is, there are many companies which are quoting even after this rise, quoting at really deep valuations, worth picking. So I think investors should look at the valuations and should look seriously into the PSU companies. That can be a theme to play going forward. Next, in the medium term, I would say next 1, 2, 3 years time.
Quite interesting. Purinju, hi, morning. Great to have you on the show and back on ET now. Given that, PSUs is a large pack, and outside of the list that you just talked about, that's BPCL and BEML, there's a long list of other candidates as well which are waiting in the fray to be privatized or disinvested. What else are you keeping on your radar amongst the PSU pack?
This is a general, as you rightly told, there are a few of them lined up for disinvestment. So just let the investors analyze, which one of them are giving value. Whether a shipping operation at today's market cap, some of these companies are, they have a very huge land bank to be monetized. So government, in BEML's case, they already announced that a separate company will be formed to hold the land bank, extra land bank, which is, beyond the operational land bank. So that can be very, very big for companies like BHEL in case they get disinvested. Then the SCI and BEML is already in the process. BPCL, of course, is a different kind of thing. We look at the cash flow potential for BPCL, HPCL, IOC, all these companies. Everybody, feel, and amateurs feel more that, we are moving to the, electric vehicles regime. And that is going to be the future. So why to buy the refining companies or distribution companies? See, India, look at the next 10, 15, 20 years. This business is going to, the petroleum refining and distribution is going to create huge cash flow for the owners of the company. And they are getting disinvested. And if it goes to some strong hands globally or in India, when disinvested, everything can change. It can be much better managed with all the dynamism of smart private enterprise. And in that case, you can imagine what HPCL, BPCL, IOC kind of companies can generate. So we cannot. First, you should take a stand. Whether we are really seriously going to disinvest or privatize these companies. And I think the biggest challenge today, most investors do not believe that this privatization will go smoothly. My confidence is very high this time on the privatization of PSU companies. So there are so many companies, as Aisha was talking about. So let us deep dive and look into the valuations, most importantly.
Sure. Purinju, you've been known to follow themes like you just talked about, digitization as well as the entire PSU pack. What are the other themes that are looking interesting to you? A large part of the rally from 2020 has been tilted in favor of the commodities, for instance, and I'm not just talking metals, but a lot of agri themes as well have held out well. A lot of small and big, the entire pharma pack has done well. Any other theme that you continue to like in the market and believe that it's for the long haul and not just the near term?
See, I'm aware and keeping track of all these industries. If you talk about metals or mining or many other commodities, agri, but you see all the quality themes, the quality ideas have run up so much. Even though there are still value picks available, so it's very difficult to generalize at this point of time. We have to be very selective, choosy, and stock picking in the market. So for that, I think almost every sector is giving an opportunity in India. So I am focusing on, now picking mangosteen and rambutan in my farm. That's immediate low-hanging fruits. So I don't know. It's difficult to comment. Some of them are really cyclicals when we talk about metals. So the way the stocks have gone up, whether this kind of high prices in steel will remain, I'm not an expert, and how long. And whatever said and done, the stress what we have gone through in the second wave of pandemic is going to play out in the numbers of some of these companies in the Q1 results when they come out. So it's time to be cautious rather than being excited about those themes.
So apart from giving money to your PMS to manage, what is the other way in which someone can get rich?
Even I am looking for that idea. I think today, equity investing can do it directly. A lot of people, they started doing direct investing, learning, especially the youngsters. It's not a huge, subject to learn. It's very dynamic, of course, and most people learn, losing some money, doing some mistakes, and learning from those mistakes. And sometimes we say learn from others' mistakes. That's also a very good idea. So I think going forward, creating wealth, making money for people with investable funds, I don't think anything anywhere near to equity investing.